Hello, Donna here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make 2 pockets for your journal pages. These are very easy pockets. There is nothing hard about them at all. I'm going to supply you a pattern for them both. I've got the printable here for you. You just need to go to my website and print these out. So this is pocket number 1. Well, this is here. This is pocket number 1, and I'll call this the short pocket. And this is pocket number 2, which is the tall pocket. To make these pockets, all you need is either a piece of A4 or letter size paper. You can use parchment paper, you can use tea-dyed paper, or you can use a printed type of scrapbook paper, whether it be 12 by 12 or an A4 sheet. I always suggest printing out your template on a 200 GSM cardstock. The first thing you need to do is cut out your template. Just cut them out on the black line. Once you've cut out your pattern pieces, lay it down on your sheet of paper and trace around it. Once you've got your pockets cut out, they're very easy to make. We'll make one of each. So we're going to make the parchment and a tea-dyed. So I'll make a tall one and a short one. So I'm going to make this the outside of my pocket because it's got some nice tea stains on it. So I'm going to turn it over and fold my flaps in on the side first. So I'm going to line up my ruler on that straight line there, and I'm going to get my scraper and just pick up that line and use my ruler to crease that there. If you've got another method of doing that, use that method, whatever works for you. Again, put that ruler on that long straight line, and there's an angle cut there, and just crease that line. It's only paper, so you don't need to use cardstock for this pocket. It's just a light little pocket to fill up your journal pages. Once that's folded in like that, all we've got to do then is fold that over toward the front. You can just put your ruler right on the edge of that corner there and that corner there. And then put your bone folder or your scraper under there and give that a gentle crease. When you fold that over, make sure that it follows the edge line, and then just crease it with your finger. Because it's all paper, it folds down very easy. Now all we've got to do is either colour it with some distress ink. You can glue it first. We've just got to glue these flaps down. You can glue that first, or you can colour it first. It's entirely up to you. I'm just using my Barely Art glue today. You can use whatever glue you have that doesn't buckle your paper. I like using a glue that keeps my paper laying nice and flat. So I'm just going to glue my flaps, not this end of the paper. And I'm going to push it down that way. That's your pocket made. That's how easy these pockets are. If you've got them done with a print on them, or if you use a printed paper and they're made up like this, they're all ready to glue down into your book. So I'll make the next one up before I colour the edges with the distress ink. Figure out which is the right and wrong side of your parchment paper or whatever paper you're using. Same again, bring your ruler right down that flap line. That is the back of the pocket, this is the front. There's a little angle cut there. Just lift that up again and crease that. pretty much made the same way, only this one hasn't got a tall edge on the back. It's even. The front and the back are even. Turn it over and do the same again, creasing that. Now I'm going to do the same again here. I'm just going to put my ruler across the bottom of there, lift that flap up and crease it. And then I'm going to make sure that this side and this side are lined up before I put my crease down the bottom. Okay, now there I've got a center mark. When I traced out my pattern, I put a center mark here, and that is so I know where I can put my thumb hole on the front here. I have this as the front of my pattern, and that's because when that is glued down into place, it gives a nice finish on the front of your pocket. I'm using a 1 3/4 inch oval shape to do my pocket. If you've only got a hole punch that is a circle, just use the circle. That'll be fine for you. Now I'm going to show you a tip to cut the thumb hole if you're just using thin paper like this. Get a second piece of paper and put it underneath the piece that you're cutting, using your center marker there, and then cut your thumb hole. That will give you a neater cut than trying to cut through a single piece. Sometimes when you cut a single piece, it will do that most of the time. Not all the time. Sometimes you might be lucky and get it through, but it'll chew it up most of the time. So now this is ready to stencil. The stencil that I've got to do this one is a Tim Holtz, and it's the THS 009, and it's like coffee stains. Now I would normally do this on my glass mat, but it's fine to just do it on a piece of paper, and this is just a piece of non-stick kitchen paper. So you get either a vintage photo or a tea dye. I find the tea dye gives me a really good result to do this. So I'm just going to place that where I want it. And I use the makeup brushes for this type of shading, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look as authentic as I can, and I'm going to make it dark in the center and then blend it out lighter. I just load up my makeup brush. You can't see it on these brushes, but you can certainly see it when it comes onto the paper. So I'm just going to now I've loaded that up, I'm just going to concentrate in the center here, and I'm going to go round and round in the center. You can see it getting dark. I'm not loading it up again. Round and round in the center on one of these dots here. Same here, round and round in the center. Then I take a little bit of the ink off, and then I just go like that everywhere else without putting any more ink on. Take a little sneaky peek and see what that does. It then leaves a faint pattern everywhere else. If you use this stencil with an even color, it doesn't look that authentic. So by having it in different shades, it looks much better. So I'm going to fold my sides in again, and this time I'm going to swap my brush for my blender. So I'm going to get a bit of the tea stain on here and darken up the edges. You can leave it all together because it's going to be glued down anyway. You can lay it on the table and bring it up like that so that you get a lot more colour into the paper. Okay, so now you've got your edges all nicely coloured. and your paper is still a little bit bright in the center, you can just give it a hit and a miss. Just give it a touch up and just take away a little tiny bit of that brightness. You don't need much at all. All it does is just settle it down a little bit. And just say, for instance, if you wanted to, just give it a little bit more of this splash, don't load your brush up anymore. Just whack it a little bit more splash in the corner there. And you could probably just do another splatter here. I might just use that without loading it up again, and just put some random splats elsewhere. You don't really have to, but you could. So now we're ready to glue down. Same as the other one. I just put a bead of glue up either side of the fold line. I don't overuse my glue. If you've watched my videos before, you know I'm really big on just using enough glue. Fold that up that way. Line it up so it's spot on. And there you have a cute little tea stained or coffee stained pocket. So let's colour this one up. I'm going to use the vintage photo on this one, and I think I'll use this Raise THS 003. It's also a Tim Holtz. I would normally do this before I glue it up as well, and to make sure that I don't get any of the pattern onto there, I'm just going to sit that there. And I'm going to do the same again. This time I'm going to go dark here and blend it out lighter here. It's really good to use this type of blending because it just looks really, really good rather than one solid dark color. Another tip. See all these tiny little bits and pieces in these stencils? It's pretty well hopeless trying to use a blender to get into them. So if you stick with these makeup brushes, you'll find you'll be a lot happier with it. So just go in there and just brush it out like that. And get yourself that sunburst coming out. Have a little peek and see if it's where you want it. And that's all you need, something gentle. Again, you can go darker if you want it more showy. It's entirely up to you. I probably could have gone a bit darker down here. If you can place that back on, you could fix that. Okay, we do the same again. I'll swap over, and this time I'll use my blender to add some color to the very top here. Another reason you would do this before you glue down the sides is so that you can get the top of that pocket done. But I'll give you a tip and show you how I'm going to remedy that. I'm just going to pop that in there, and I'm going to flick it on like that. Pop it back over to that side and do the same there. So all is not lost if you get a bit gung-ho and glue it all down before you're ready to go. So the easiest pockets you'll make today. Doesn't matter if you don't have this particular type stencil, use any stencil that you've got or just use pattern paper. Either way, this is a pretty handy little pocket to make up. I'll show you that one in the green. So you can make it in any colour you like that goes with whatever paper you're sitting it with. And I just set a little notebook inside. It's just to give you that little something something in your journal. And you can fold the flap over or you can leave it up like that. I'm Donna. Thanks for watching and bye for now.